Yeah, I know what you're gonna say, okay? The hair looks beautiful. I know. It looks absolutely amazing. Like, there's nothing cooler than hair that has twice the area of your face, okay? That is like the desirable, okay? Everybody would want to have this kind of hair, okay? I was gonna get a haircut this weekend, and then I was just like, I don't feel like it, so you guys get this beautifulness. Hello everybody, I'm Karar, and ironically, I'm going to be telling you guys what to do in the last 3 weeks of your summer. And let me just tell you, getting a haircut should be one of them, okay? You don't want to go into your classroom and your teacher be like, why the heck is there a hobo in my classroom? Bruh. But don't worry, okay? I'm probably going to get a haircut before the end of summer. Probably, like there's a 1% chance. Pretty good. But anyways, the point is, the last 3 summers are actually probably the most important ones of summer, okay? Because these are the 3 weeks that you gotta prepare for school, okay? And no, by prepare for school, I do not mean binge on Valorant, okay? And I don't mean watch 69 hours of people playing League against each other, okay? That is the most boring nonsense ever. The actually fun stuff is to set goals for yourself. Now that is the stuff. No, but seriously though, I think the last 3 summers are probably the time that I spend the most uselessly, okay? And I think that's gotta change. Because if you use the last 3 weeks of your summer properly, you could save yourself so much stress during the school year. It's gonna make it so much better. Now I know that not many people are very interested in the do stuff now, you'll be happier later mentality, but this is actually a really good time to do it, okay? Like, if the one time you bought into that mentality was right now, you will be so happy. I'm not even kidding, okay? Because literally before junior year, right, I have these 3 weeks before school starts, and I don't do anything. I'm so tired from my classes, I really have no reason to do anything. I might as well relax before the school year starts, that would be a great idea. And I really didn't do anything for those 3 weeks, okay? Now, the first reason why that's bad is because it really doesn't feel that good to do nothing all day. Like, you should have something done in the day, right? And then second, once I got into junior year, everything was so rapid fire, like I didn't have time to like actually do the stuff I wanted to do because I was so busy trying to figure everything else out that I actually had to do. So today, I basically wanted to talk about the 2 things that you should be doing before your summer is over. Now, the most important thing, in my opinion, is to have a game plan, because if you have a game plan, literally everything will be a lot more smoother. The first step to making any game plan in terms of your life is to first decide what the heck you want to do. And I think that the last 3 weeks of summer is the perfect time to do it if you haven't done it already. Because once the school year starts, right, let's say you found something that interests you once the school year started. But it takes some amount of time and effort to get started with anything, right? So during the school year, you might not have that certain amount of time, and then you just will never get started. But if you do it now, you get over that first beginner's hump. Okay, that was a weird hand gesture, but if you get over that hump, okay, you could do a lot more during the school year. For example, I learned about CTS like at the end of the school year last year, so I had plenty of time just to test things out, learn some new stuff. I got into it pretty quickly. But if I would only learn about like the CTF stuff, like with hacking, right? Like I would have no idea how to do it, and I wouldn't have time to even look into it, right? Because I'd just be so busy doing other things. But now that I have a basic foundation, right, it takes a lot less work for me during the school year, right? So I could actually keep pursuing it through the school year. So in terms of advice on how to find these things that are interesting to you right now, the best way to do it is literally to just try a bunch of different things, right? So like first off, just divide up your general skills, right? Like for me, that's like CS. I'm interested a bit in art, like music, that kind of stuff, right? And then once you have that, dive a little bit deeper, right? Like for CS, what am I interested in? Oh, CTS? Yeah, let's try that. For art, what am I interested in? Maybe I should learn like 3D modeling or something. Because, dang, dude, 3D modeling people are insane. I have too much respect. Oh yeah, that's another thing. If you want to find something you're interested in, just look at the people you respect, right? Like, if you respect someone, you probably think what they do is cool, and you probably want to do it yourself. So, look into that. Okay, so now that you got the stuff that you're interested in, you gotta set goals. And the first goals that I would recommend setting are your yearly goals, okay? And no one cares about New Year's, okay? New Year's is like the most irrelevant thing. You're literally in the middle of your heckin' year. No one cares about New Year's resolutions. But school year's resolutions, dude, I made up the sexiest term. Oh my god, that was crazy. But school year's resolutions, those are the stuff. Because as a student, you're probably thinking in terms of your years, right? Like, your year ends when school ends, okay? It does not end on, like, December 31st. That's literally when your school year starts. You literally gotta start preparing for a heckin' next semester that's gonna suck so bad. So now is the best time to set these yearly goals and make them extremely specific, okay? Like, for me, my one goal in freshman year was to make USABO semifinals, so I had a very clear goal in mind, so I was able to pursue it during the year, right? And then in sophomore year, my 2 goals were to first, like, get up a level in USACO, which is computer science, right? And then I also wanted to focus a little bit more on physics and get up a level in that. And having those 2 goals gave me something to shoot for during the year. Instead of being like, oh, I have a little bit of free time, what should I spend it on? Oh, that's right, I have no idea, so let's watch PewDiePie. Yeah. Instead, I was like, oh, I haven't achieved my goal yet, why don't we do this? This is gonna be epic. And then junior year was a mega troll. I was like, let's get up a level in physics, okay? And guess which? The only Olympia that was canceled. That's right, physics. Bro. I got so memed, it's not even funny. Which is also why I recommend having a little bit of diversity in your interests, okay? Don't just like focus on one thing for your whole life. It's not very satisfying, and if your interests change, you're kind of done. So Have a little variety. How could it hurt? It'll be epic. So once you've set your goals for the entire school year, what you want to accomplish once the school year is over, then you can move on to the actual weekly goals. And these are really important to set early on.
Now, the reason why it's important is because in summer, you cannot make excuses for yourself, okay? During the school year, you're gonna be like, hey man, I had so much homework, please forgive me.
And then your alter ego is gonna be like,
well, that's totally fine, man. It's totally fine that you spend 0 hours on YouTube, even though your goal is heckin' 8 hours. That's totally fine.
And yes, I understand that everybody has homework and that during the school year it's really hard to stay on top of your goals. But if you actually make the goals ahead of time instead of like just like going into the school year, then making them and then like not following them at all, you can make it ahead of time and then actually follow through with it. Like for me, going into senior year, I for sure want to have a weekly goal to like put out these videos. I want to have my weekly goal to finish all the club meetings for the next week so I don't have to worry about it during the next week. I want to have my weekly goal to do at least a little bit of like my own personal coding. So I'm not just only doing schoolwork and that's lame. And then of course I want to have weekly goals to make sure I'm not being stupid on my college apps and only saving it for like the last day. Which is probably going to happen anyways, but it is okay. And then once you have these like year-long goals and weekly goals, you also got to decide how much you want to put into the stuff you're doing, right? Like weekly goals and these yearly goals are mostly personal things, right? But what happens if you're doing like these extracurriculars like robotics or speech and debate or like, I don't know, clubs or something? Then you have to think about it in terms of other people, right? So before you go into a year, you have to decide how much you're willing to commit, okay? Because otherwise you're going to be unnecessarily stressed. Like for me, going into sophomore year, I wanted to do robotics, okay? And I wanted to do speech and debate. So going into the year, I was like, I'm going to commit so hard. I'm going to get speech and debate captain, robotics president, everything. It's going to be epic. But then I ended up not even being that interested in robotics, so I ended up just not doing anything. And then I felt stressed about it because, like, come on, I want to actually do something, but I don't want to do something. Yeah, it was not a very good experience. And then speech and debate was also very bad because I didn't know how much I was willing to commit. Like, I would go to practices, and then I would try to practice on my own, but then I would end up not practicing because I didn't like it that much. So it's just really bad, right? So before you get into the year, make sure you know how much you want to commit. So you're not unnecessarily stressing out about doing stuff that you never even committed to. Alright, so that's all I would have for your like game plan for the school year, right? Your yearly goals, weekly goals, and then your commitment. I would recommend just writing down everything just on a piece of paper so that you don't forget. But now that you have all that stuff, that probably didn't take you that long, now you actually gotta start working on stuff. Because now you probably have a lot more free time than you're gonna have in the school year, so why not just finish everything that you know you're gonna have to do, just finish it right now? Which is pretty darn hypocritical of me to say, because I have not started on college apps, which is probably the smallest brain move I've ever made in my life. But it's okay, we don't have to worry about that. I mean, I have to worry about it, you don't have to worry about it. But seriously though, I think if you could start working on stuff right now, it's gonna be a lot better, okay? A lot of people think that if they just binge video games right now, they'll be like a lot happier, right? Because you're not gonna get time to play video games later, so might as well just play all the video games I can play now. But I think that binging just in general is not a good idea, okay? Like I watched this video about dopamine poisoning, which is basically if you have like too much fun stuff in one go, it just doesn't feel that good. Like for example, if there's like a loud beeping noise in the back of your head, eventually your brain tunes it out, right? But if you're just having fun like 24 hours on end, just going through 3 weeks, it's not going to be that fun anymore, right? Your brain's going to tune out the dopamine too. So basically the point is, no matter what, you always want to mix a little bit of work with a little bit of play, okay? Because if you have too much play, it's not fun, but if you have too little play, then it's also not fun. So a good thing to do would be to like list out the stuff that you're going to have to do during the school year. Like for me, I'm going to have to make meeting notes for like a bunch of clubs. So what I'm doing right now is I'm preparing a very specific plan for all those clubs so that when I get into the school year, I don't have to think at all, okay? I just have to blindly do it, it'll be fast, and then I can do whatever the heck I want. Another thing I would recommend you guys do is like if you're studying for something, I would recommend just taking diagnostic tests for everything that you're interested in doing. Like before junior year, I basically took like a bunch of practice Olympiads and I just wanted to see like what I needed to work on. So that during the school year, I don't have to spend like 2 hours just set out for taking diagnostic tests. I could just go into it, know what I have to work on, and work on it instead of like wasting time. And then I probably should have put this in the game plan section, but schedule out your days, okay? By now you probably know what your school's bell schedule is, and it's probably completely different from anything you've ever experienced before, right? Because you're entirely at home, they probably changed it up to make it work with online teaching. It's completely different. So you're gonna be completely confused on what to do. Dude, the first few weeks of shelter in place were so confusing, dude. I was like just sitting there doing nothing, watching YouTube because I was just like, hey, look at all this free time. Now what am I gonna do with it? I'm gonna waste it. Cause I love wasting time. God dang it. So yeah, make sure you schedule out your time. Literally say, from here to here, I'm at school. From here to here, I'm doing this. From here to here, I'm doing that. Finally, I'm done with my homework. From here to here, do whatever the heck you want. Make sure every minute counts. Alright, that's basically all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more. Let me know if there's any specific tips that you guys want, because I know a bunch of you guys have video suggestions that's rolling in the back of your mind, but please spit them out. I want to hear them. I want to give you guys what you want. So anyways, thank you guys for watching again so much, and see you guys next time.